Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. This is Isha, and today I wanted to actually talk about a C drama that I saw recently, and I liked it so much that I felt like I wanted to make a video on it. So that is what I'm doing today. So without further, time pass, let's just get right into what I want to say about the drama. So the drama I'm talking about is Meet Yourself, and I think it was released in 2023, 2024, somewhere along that time. To bring the summary of the drama, you have Shu Hong Do, whose best friend Nan Ching gets diagnosed with cancer and then passes away. So that leads Shu Hong Do to kind of resign from her job as a hotel receptionist or a hotel manager, and she takes like a 3 month long break in Yunnan, which is this region in China, and the plot of the drama starts from there. Now, talking more so about the drama, it is not very plot heavy. You just have a bunch of people that you see and that you're seeing the relationships of. You're seeing how this village, how the people live, how the days are going by. You have a lot of thoughtful conversations, and it's very slow paced. It makes you feel very calm. They also have an amazing soundtrack that I am listening to on repeat, and that soundtrack, especially, there's like a ballad that is sung by like children, I think, and even a lot of the background sound effects that are there throughout the drama like appropriately fits the scene. So I think that this drama kind of has it all. Like, it's done in a very beautiful scenery, the concept is pretty well done, and all the actors and all the people that you see on screen are also like very beautiful. I think in that way this drama is like very focused more so on like the characters and the character arcs. I think every character has been properly fleshed out. It never, or it rarely ever feels like any character is there just to, like, say, fill the plot. You have Ma, Mr. Ma, who's like I think in his 40s, and he has basically he's trying to recover from like a failing business, and he's come to Yunnan and this village for like kind of taking a break. You obviously have Shu Hongdu, you have Nana, who's also escaping from her past of kind of being an influencer and then kind of going through some online hate comments and some kind of a online drama, to put it simply. Shao, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing these names wrong, but he's basically 22-year-old woodcarver, and he always feels very stuck that he's always lived in this village and he's never really explored outside of it. So you kind of have every person that in like different stages of life, going through different things and trying to cope with life, trying to live life. And it kind of reminds me of this continual nature of life, right? That things will keep happening, things keep going on, and there's no point where you really arrive. And this drama, as you're watching it, it's not something that you passively consume. At least for me it wasn't. It is something you actively kind of think about. As the characters are speaking about this thing on screen, you're also actively thinking about, like, is this true, or how do I feel when that person says this? Like, for me, this was something that I was like actively thinking about and engaging with the drama. To add to what I felt that I really liked about the drama, so because it's so long, I feel like there are things that I could like keep talking on and on and on about, and I could make like a 4-5 hour long video, and there would still be conversations and there would still be points that I would like to continuously talk about. But I have kind of condensed it to 4 main things I want to talk about. So the first point that it's actually a line that's said by Shu Hongdu, which is, in a race against time, humans will always lose. Shu Hongdu is seen as a character who, never takes vacations, is like kind of like a workaholic, and kind of keeps going through the routine in the beginning of the drama before she resigns and takes a break. And that really makes us think, what are we racing against and where are we running towards. For me, it was this one line that is said very casually. I think Shohongdu is at a cafe and she's eating and she says this line, and it just reminds us that against time we will always lose, and to remind ourselves that we are here only for some time. And you know to put in comparison to like the entire time that the universe has actually been there, the amount of time we will be there is probably a fraction of the time it takes to blink an eye. The second line is, you cannot make the decision of how your life turns out till the end. And this is said, I think, in relation to a character, Aunt Fang. And this is said by Xie Ji Yao. And that just reminds us that until your life is actually over, or until there's actually an end, you cannot make the decision, right? Like, this is this is not the end. One event or something is not the end of it. And that is not to say that you're not allowed to be sad or you're not allowed to feel the feelings you do. That is completely valid. But I also think it is an important reminder to remind that, like, you're going to live through this and it's not the end. Third, and like maybe the most important, or like an overarching theme throughout the drama, for me at least, I felt, is like, what does success mean? You have this constant message being put forward of what is the kind of life that you want to live and what does success actually mean. Because in a lot of ways these things are defined to us based on the kind of money we earn or the kind of lifestyle we live or the place we live at, whether it's a big city or a small city. And maybe to question the kind of definition we have been given of success and what we want to do with it, if that is something that aligns with what we want to do or not. I found it very significant in the drama was how much our childhood actually affects us in our adulthood. And I mean, we all kind of know that. But I think it was really portrayed a lot. I don't know if that was the intention in the drama, but that was there. And also how I think that there is this belief that, once we grow out of our childhood or once we grow out of a certain age, our parental relationship kind of like, or our dependence on parents decreases. But that's not, I wouldn't say that's not true, but it doesn't happen that one day we just stop caring or we just don't, those kind of relations doesn't matter anymore. I think that, throughout our life, the parent child bond is something that remains very much at the center of our social life, and the relationships, all the relationships that we are going to have all our life. I'm not saying this as like a professional opinion, by the way, but I just feel like that because you have Mr. Who's like, still scared of his dad. He's a musician, and his dad doesn't quite approve of his career. And you can see how much, being in his 30s, he's still kind of battling with that kind of disapproval. You have Xie Ji Yao, whose childhood experiences of his mom having to leave the village and having to go work outside kind of, you know, um, pushes him a lot to kind of come back to the village and develop it. That's like one of his biggest motivations to develop the village and make sure there's enough employment opportunities there. And you also have him, living with his grandmom still, who is very much like a parental figure to him. You have him kind of even opposing his dad's opinion of, his dad does not like that he left like such a good paying job in Beijing and he's back in this village. So you even have him kind of staying on the path of like, no, I want to do this because this childhood thing, especially of his mom leaving, really impacts him so much to this day. You even have moments where Shu Hongdu keeps talking about her grandmom and how she really misses those moments in those like villages, and that's kind of what connects her to she Yao's grandmom, who they call Nana. throughout the entire drama, and how she keeps kind of feeling that warmth, and she's kind of craving that warmth that she once felt at her grandmother's hands, or at like the memory of her grandmom. I don't know, for me it really impacted me a lot to see the parent child relationship shown beyond teenage and shown beyond like childhood years. And these are kind of the thoughts on my drama. These are kind of what are some of like maybe the themes that uh, affected me. And that is all I want to say for this review, or this kind of a talk about this drama. And I will see you again in my next video. Bye.